Yo, what's going on YouTube? It is your boy Primo, and today I'm back with another 2K video. Of course, being 2K20, because that is what all the hype is about right now. But unfortunately, this is not the video I thought I would be making for you guys while I was waiting on the demo to come out. I was thinking, I'm gonna be showing a build. I'm gonna be showing you guys all these different new things they've been talking about. And that's not quite how things ended up. So the demo came out. I played it at first. Made my first build. It was an offensive threat, 6'5" shooting guard. But I didn't like some of the, I think it was the badges. It was something I didn't like about him, and I quit the game. The reason I'm letting y'all know that is because I then made another build, finished the game, and thought because I had quit on the first one, that's why I couldn't go back into either one of them and play. So I then proceeded to make another build and another before I realized quite what was going on. I did not know about the 6-player limit before I started messing with these, and I didn't know about the 1 game limit per player either. So a lot of the things I was going to be bringing to you guys, like my build video and everything, I'm still going to talk about my build a little bit in this video. Luckily, I did remember to record some stuff, but it's not going to be quite how I wanted it to be. And then on top of that, we actually have a lot more 2K20 information to talk about, because it was all these different things that they put in the game that people don't like, and then there were a lot of good changes people don't like that got changed to something else that we won't know is good or bad till the game comes out. A lot of different things to talk to, so let's get into it. First, I'm going to start with the build. Now, some of you that were checking out some of my previous videos know that I have a sharpshooting shot creator on 2K19. You also know that my goal was to make that same sharpshooting shot creator build, or at least replicate it as close as I could on 2K20. That's what I was going to be using a demo for, to sort of try that out, see what I could do to get as close to that build as I could. Now, the first build I made, like I said, offensive threat, 6'5" shooting guard. Off the jump, when I was making the build, I noticed that there is a huge disadvantage in making your player taller. And for guards, it can be as small as just going up 1 inch. I don't know, because see, I'm talking over this right now. This is a different build that I had made, so I don't know for sure which height I went with, but you can see as I'm looking, okay, I went with 6'5". You can see as I was looking at the height right there, man, the repercussions for making your person just 1 inch taller can be crazy. And it's not just like this with guards, it's with all builds. It's actually some people complained about, and I know because I tried to make a small forward too. I was trying to make me like a Paul George type build, and I was almost there. He ended up being I think it said slashing facilitator or something like that, or finishing facilitator, something like that. But what held him back was his playmaking, and his shooting was not quite, I wouldn't say, on Paul George level. And on top of that, he could only get either the playmaking or the post-scoring takeover badge. Now, the build still didn't end up being bad. He could still shoot well. He couldn't really, his playmaking wasn't on the level I wanted it to be on for him to be able to dribble. Because y'all know Paul George, he got moves, He can sauce up every now and then when he want to. And I think even on 2K19, he can momentum and things like that. I could not get this build to be that way because I didn't want to give up height. Obviously, I'm not going to run around with a 6'6" Paul George build. Paul George is listed as 6'9". I went with 6'9", and it killed my stats dramatically. I think I went with the pie chart that had like playmaking and shooting mostly. And first of all, it brought my playmaking attributes down into like the 60s. And then my shooting came down to like the 70s. I have no idea how I was still able to shoot the way I did in the demo. Probably because it's on rookie. Gotta be because it's on rookie. Because they did not like my small forward. I dropped 50 some points with him, but they did not like my small forward the way they were showing me in them attributes. They didn't like it at all. So that was the first thing I noticed when I was trying to make the build. Because on 2K19, my sharpshooting shot creator is 6'6", and I actually meant to make him 6'7". I literally didn't realize until I was like a 92 overall that he was 6'6", and I was like, oh. And that's because on 2K18, I made a 6'7" sharpshooting shot creator, and it was perfect. Offensively, unstoppable, but 6'7", decent wingspan meant on defense I wasn't just gonna be, bullied all the time either. Especially running shooting guard, you're 6'7". Most of the people you're guarding are gonna be point guards and shooting guards that are 6'5" or under. Defensively, I was actually a problem on 18, and even though I'm 6'6", on 19, still a problem. And I wanted to keep that, especially on 2K20, because as an offensively minded player, I'm not putting no upgrades into my defense. None that I don't have to anyway. I'm sure if you noticed while I was doing the attributes, even for this player right here, I didn't put too much into defense. I maxed out the offensive stuff and the playmaking stuff that I wanted to max out, and then I put whatever was left into defense, which resulted in me getting, I believe, 1 defensive badge on almost every player I made. I think my small forward got 2. No, he only got 1 too, because I definitely had to put all his attributes into shooting and playmaking and slashing since they were dropping him so low with him being 6'9". But yeah, it didn't look all that good for the height. And my defense, like I said, I only settled on 6'5" just because I knew going up, yeah, maybe my defense would be better, but I wouldn't be the same type of offensive threat. Nope, not trying to use the name from the game, but I'm saying I wouldn't be as versatile on offense as my build on 2K19. My goal was to remake the build on 2K19 and then add to it. I wanted to see if I could make a sharpshooting shot creator-esque build that could now momentum off jump, or at least not too far into takeover, and possibly get contact dunks. I'm talking post rises. I wanted to see if, I was looking to add to what my sharpshooting shot creator could already do. I wasn't really planning on it being worse than the one I had, because my one on 19, shooting is in the 80s. Mid-range is in the 90s, 3-point shooting is in the 80s, playmaking 80s, slashing 70s, except for my contact dunk. So I was looking to make that same build, but bring my playmaking up, like my ball control speed with ball, up by like 5 points, and then bring up that contact dunk by even just 10 points. Because really, your driving dunks are what get you the packages. I just needed a higher contact dunk rating, and then the ability to put posterizer on my build, which has now been changed to contact finisher, and I could put on gold or Hall of Fame. So I thought it was gonna work out. Now don't get me wrong, I did make the offensive threat build, and even though it was 6'5", it was still nasty. But I didn't like my defense on it though. I felt like I was getting blown by a little bit too much. Now, given I'm playing against D'Angelo Russell, I'm usually guarding either Russell, Curry, or Clay on every possession, and they made these guys gods in this demo. Like, it's not just on rookie for us, it's on rookie for them too. They're playing us like we're rookies, because some of the shots that D'Angelo and Curry was hitting on me and my teammates, not right. Not right at all. So, as much fun as the build was, I gave up on it. I didn't really like it that much because, like I said, I need that extra height for defense, especially if I'm not putting extra attributes into my defensive stuff. And that's what brings me to some of the changes I was talking about with 2K20. Not necessarily that they overhyped the build creator. I think we did that ourselves. But they didn't come anywhere near our expectations. Like, the first thing I noticed was the pie charts. Even though they're saying we can make our own custom builds, those pie charts are basically picking what your build is gonna be for you. Yeah, you can decide to not max out some of the stats in there and put it in the other stuff for badge purposes, but it's basically giving you what your build is going to be right there. I don't care what the name is that it gives you, but as far as what your capabilities are going to be, it basically gave you what they're going to be on that pie chart. And then on top of that, if you decide to be any taller than it starts you at, you're nerfing your own build already from the jump. I know a lot of these other YouTubers were out here making build videos talking about best build in the game and all that kind of stuff. How many of them are guards? I know Duke Dennis made a stretch big, of course, but how many of the other builds weren't a point guard or a shooting guard? And we're taller than 6'5". I haven't even watched the videos, but I can guarantee you it's not many because they killed you for height. And then if you talk about the other changes that people were some excited, some not excited about, they couldn't even keep all those in. They're already talking about changing some of the changes. Like, well, for one thing I know was getting taken out is brick wall. I don't know why 2K thought it was going to be a good idea to allow people to get dropped by screens again. I know they're taking that out. Unfortunately, they are going back to giving big men, stretch bigs. Or I don't know how he hit that shot. They are going back to giving stretch bigs and such, whichever jump shot they want, basically. At the beginning, Mike Wang had said they were going to make it a height cutoff, and then he updated that and said it was going to be a height and or weight cutoff. And people were kind of looking forward to that because it was like, stretch bigs are already pretty strong, so anything to bring them down just a little bit wouldn't be all that bad. But that's not how things ended up going. I don't know if people complained or the mechanics didn't work or what it was, but they changed that real quick. Another thing that they changed quick, stamina. One of the things I was the most excited about is they said they were going to bring down how much stamina you have when you're dribbling and stuff. So not only could you not just be dribbling around everywhere and things like that, but if you were a dribbler, you had to be very careful about what moments you want to be holding that R2 button in. And almost immediately, the day after the demo, I think, they're talking about changing the stamina. Even though you can put on, I think probably the people complaining still had the handles for days badge, which reduces your stamina cost, and we're still complaining. And I don't even see why, because in my time I spent, it takes like 1-2 moves maybe to get past your defender. It doesn't take a whole lot. So I don't understand, like all these other people out here that was having stamina issues, I don't know. You're doing too much. Relax. Pass the ball. Let your teammates do something. Which, I know I said that. Do not watch my assists during this game. My point is, I'm not the one complaining about being tired, though. But anyway. What else were there changes? Shot meter. The shot meter wasn't really a big deal to me. I didn't really care all that much. It was a little small, but I didn't care about the one by your hands. And this is a little tip for anybody that doesn't happen to know. If you go into the 2KU, you can change your jump shot to the 2K17 one, and then you can start your My Career, and you will then be playing with the 2K17 jump shot, which was my intention anyway, so I didn't really care about the little 2K18 small jump shot meter. But a lot of people complained about that. Mike Wing has already said that's getting changed almost immediately. One thing I didn't see them say they're gonna change that I hope does get changed is I have noticed one thing. There's a big deal in 2K19. Can't remember so much 18, but 19 for sure. Is like when you get in the passing lane of a steal, if you don't catch it, like if you just tap it, for whatever reason, you will not change the direction of the ball. The ball will continue to go the other way, whether you touched it or not. And I'm hoping, like, I haven't seen nobody say nothing about that, so I doubt it's gonna get changed, but I hope it does, because that's a little irritating. It happened to my player a lot in this, actually. But yeah, that's another thing I'd like to see fixed. They said they were gonna change how post scorers work or whatever. But from what I'm hearing from my friends, I haven't really watched anybody who's made a post score, but from what I'm hearing from my friends, they did not nerf post scores at all. They still got the same little animations and everything. I think my friend said the only thing they weren't able to do with the post score is the little push with the ball you do when you just shove them off of you with the ball and then go up, a little offensive foul. They said they haven't been able to do that yet. Other than that, the rest is still here though. So I don't know what the changes were to post scores. Hopefully they keep looking into that. But like I said, there were a lot of overall different issues, and I think 2K's point and the reason why we've seen so many issues and seen so many things wrong, and the reason why they changed it to the demo rather than the prelude, is because look at this. Last year we got the prelude. People didn't complain a whole ton, and the things that were complained about the most didn't really get changed. As far as impactful gameplay changes, we probably have a bigger list now. And not a bigger list as far as things that need to be fixed, but like a bigger list of things that are going to get fixed in the game now, more than any gameplay fixes in 19. The only impactful one I can remember is stopping the inbounds glitch and then stopping pushing. Those were the only two. After that, we were left to dry with everything else that was in the game. We were just kind of stuck with it. So I think that's the reason they did this demo. They didn't bring it out thinking it was going to be perfect and we were just going to be trying out our builds, and that's probably the reason why they didn't give us dribble signatures and all that kind of stuff with the animations and everything. They didn't give us any story. It was straight up just one game just for you to get in, get out, and tell them how your experience was. I believe they did that so that before the game comes out, they get all this feedback. They know what they need to tune, what they need to change, what they can leave the way it is. And then, hopefully, post-launch, they can keep doing that. So it's, even though, you know, some of the things are unfortunate that we didn't really get to try as much as we wanted to, trust me, I stayed up all night for the demo waiting to download it. I was very disappointed to see that it was only one game. I was thinking that I was about to play that one game and then go into my career. But I think it was for the best. I think them doing it that way this year, even if it's not a sign for the rest of the year, we can hope for a bit less of a broken game on launch, so people can have a bit more fun. And another thing I'll say is all you guys that's making builds and things like that, be ready to have to change them. Because based on what they gave, they're talking about adding more pies too. More pies to the game. That means most likely whatever build you made, there's probably gonna be a better version, or a version you would prefer more, because maybe you can get a little bit more shooting like you wanted to, a little bit more playmaking, little less defense for some of y'all out there that's like me. I'm kidding, of course, not really, but sort of. They're even adding more pies though, so really I would just say don't be too set on whatever build you have. Be open to still creating something new, because that's most likely the way it's going to end up when this full game comes out on the 6th. And also, you can't really test a build anyway without signatures, like your dunks, all your animations and stuff. You need all that stuff to test out a build too, and we didn't have any of that. I probably could have dropped 200 if I had the right dribble moves and things like that. So that's the stuff that leads me to believe, like I said, they didn't do this for us to go in and just have fun or just to give us a preview like previous years. They did this so that we could actually, you know, give them some important information on what we were playing, and they could then go and fix it, hopefully. Now, in the next few days, I have already had to make another account because, like I said, I didn't expect the limit on the game to be the way it was. So I'm gonna play around a little bit. If I find another build that I like, I'll bring it to you guys. I do have that small forward build I mentioned, a facilitating finisher or something like that. Might drop the gameplay for that, because even though there was a height problem, that was probably one of my favorite builds. But anyways, I appreciate you guys for watching. Let me know what you think about some of the changes and what you made for your build down below. Subscribe if you're new, and look out for more videos sometime soon. Appreciate you guys watching. Peace out.